the ranking member and I will go first on asking questions, and then we're going to disappear, but we're not disappearing. We're going over to the floor because they don't schedule the floor around our committee, unfortunately. So we both have to go to the floor to handle a bill. So I want the witnesses to understand we're not just leaving willy-nilly. Thank you very much. I now recognize myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Healy, you made a very strong business case for skills-based hiring. Despite all the clear upsides you mentioned, it appears most employers are still relying on traditional criteria like bachelor's degrees and previous job titles. What do you think prevents employers from making the shift to skill-based hiring, and what is the most important thing we can do as policymakers to break down these barriers?
Chairwoman Foxx, thank you for your question. Because skills-based hiring requires different processes and different thinking, there's a change management issue, I believe, at heart. Organizations have long struggled with skills management due to outdated skills frameworks and the difficulty to objectively assess skills and validate those skills. Skills-based hiring requires more time. It requires more planning. Often, the way headcount is deployed based on budget process, it's a land grab, and you fill open headcount quickly, which puts lots of pressure on talent attraction organizations and HR teams to onboard. So we have seen some great examples in my home state of Pennsylvania. For example, we've removed the 4-year degree requirement. I believe that policymakers can support by creating multiple pathways for improving transparency in data systems, in creating flexibility for workers, and ensuring data privacy also to acquire new skills. We also see the Pell Grants to pursue new skills and creating industry opportunities as well.
Thank you very much. Dr. Kimbrough, in your testimony, you discussed how certain skills overlap across occupations and industries. In the case of a worker seeking a degree change or a worker displaced by economic disruption, how can better identification of their existing skills and awareness of occupations with similar skills accelerate their advancement in the workforce?
Thank you, Dr. Foxx. We think it's really time to rethink how we hire and grow talent. At LinkedIn, we see talent everywhere, but we don't see access to opportunity everywhere. When we think about a skills-first approach, what we see, and I say this as an economist looking at our data, it benefits workers, it benefits businesses and employers, it benefits the economy. Some of the main conclusions which I referenced earlier were the 20% increase in the potential talent pool in the US just by taking this approach alone. But what I didn't mention as well was the fact that democratizing access to opportunity benefits in particular people without a college degree, but also women and frankly all generations. And we see that it provides an increased resilience for workers who are navigating uncertainty and economic shocks when they are relying on their skills as opposed to trying to find a similar job title. And we also see that the data, our own data, actually suggests that when workers add skills, and the more skills that they do add, the quicker they find a role and the fewer jobs they need to apply to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Smith, I'm concerned that small and mid-sized employers may look at all the requirements for creating a valid skills-based assessment. I think it's too complex to pursue. Can you briefly walk us through how an employer can, quote, transport, unquote, the validity of an off-the-shelf assessment developed by a third party? And do you think additional clarity and technical assistance from the EEOC on transporting validity would be valuable to employers seeking to switch to a skills-based approach to hiring?
Thank you for the question, Dr. Foxx. Happy to talk about validity transportability. The basic premise there is if you have a job in one organization where you've validated a test, in order to transport that validity to a different location, you have to demonstrate that the job in the new location is functionally the same job. There are a couple of different ways to do that. One of the ways is through a job analysis questionnaire where you can match the duties and requirements of the job that has validity evidence to this new job. But there isn't a lot of good specific guidance. And I think that's what we in the hiring community would need good specific evidence on what it takes to demonstrate proper validity for transportability.
Thank you very much. Yield back the balance of my time and recognize the ranking member for the purpose of questioning the witness.